check. What's up, guys? Welcome in. Welcome in. Good to see you all. Hopefully we get a pretty good turnout tonight, and I got some good questions from you guys, hopefully. Although no one sent me any charts they want help with, so might just be me talking a lot, but we'll see how this goes. Let's give it a few minutes, let people pull in. Liam, doing good, man. Doing good. How'd everybody do today? Did you guys profit? Did you guys get kicked around? Let me know in the chat. SMCI, man, that thing is a tank. Snap puts, nice. I think Joe and some other people are in those as well. Those should pay. I think PLTR paid you guys well too, whoever got that, so that was kind of nice. Just gonna give it a couple more minutes, make sure people see the link and if they want to join. But other than that, Helmi, good morning for you, evening for most people. You have a crazy schedule and you're in every lecture and you're on trade for every day. That's wild. Love the dedication though. Yep, I can do Tesla for sure. I'll delete my lines for you guys, start from zero. The only thing I'm not going to delete is SPY and QQQ because I'm too locked in at those levels. I love them. So Snapchat, I could probably chart, but it's an ER play, so none of that really matters until the morning. Scotty, good to see you. All right, guys, there's 42 people here. 42 people want to get better, so I'm glad to see it. My name is Startedwith1k for you guys that don't know. My focus, like I said, in 2024, really, especially at the beginning of the year, is to really kind of get the beginner side of things going up and going. I don't know what it is about 2024, but it's kind of not treating people too well. So I've been trying to really focus on, you know, small gains add up, beginner charting, stuff like that. So I thought this would be, you know, 30 days or 30 something days in the year. This would be a good refresher for some people that might need it. But refresh about the pocket. Yeah, I can talk about that. What Helmy's talking about is I don't really call it supply and demand zones. I just call it more like pockets of interest. And yeah, I'll definitely go over that because I really want to tie that into some charting. But to start off, we're just gonna, go over the obvious question of, why it matters. Gonna compare, the daily, the 4 hour one, and just go all the way down the 5 minute and show you guys how, I don't want to use the term easy and make it easy because I know some of you guys are beginners, and I know when I started out, I felt kind of lost. But hopefully, when I start the daily and break it down these lower time frames, hopefully it makes sense to you guys, for entries and exits on exits, excuse me, on where you can get into plays and why, once you get charting down, it's just the mental game when your money's on the line. Like when something goes against you, can you accept the loss? When it's going your way, where am I selling at? And that is, it all comes down to charting based on levels. You hear me say all the time. I don't sell based on percent wins and losses. I sell based on what the chart tells me. Then we're going to go over some trend lines as well, because those are just support resistance lines that are not left and right. They're diagonal or however you want to draw it. But trend lines are very important. And if we have some time, we'll go over some tickers. But I got a few wrote down that I want to go over starting from zero. And that might give you guys some homework tonight. I know Mario used to. I want to have you guys send me a chart and see how you guys are all doing with that. But we're just gonna dive right to it. I'm not gonna do a lot of talking. Let me get Weeble pulled up here, and we're gonna dive right to it. Hopefully, you guys, if you have a laptop or a computer or something, hopefully you guys are able to chart along with me. But I gave you guys the option to unmute your mics. So if there's ever a question, just stop me and we can go over it, why I did something and something like that. But just don't abuse it. Don't leave your mics open. Otherwise, I'm going to mute you guys. But so this is Roku, guys. This is a name that, let me turn off this really quick. These are technical signals that Weeble gives me, and I don't care about that. So this is the daily chart. This is how I'd approach every single trade. If this was a chart or a name I never played, if someone gives me a chart or something tonight, this is what I'd be doing. It's a blank chart. Skipper, can you provide an example about daily process? Yep, I'm gonna do that right now. Yeah, we'll pretend it's Wednesday, so it's Tuesday. We'll pretend it's Wednesday morning, and I had some alerts going off. Let's just pretend I really like this close on Roku. Obviously, they have earnings coming up next week. But again, this is just the daily chart. You can see it's blank. I can go all the way out to the weekly, and I've got nothing. So this is exactly what I do every morning. I'm on the West Coast, so I start my day or my charting day at 6 a.m. and markets open at 6:30. So if I were to look at this from a fresh start again, purple is the 9 EMA, green is 21, red is 50, and yellow is the 200. So again, the first thing I do, I grab a horizontal line, and we're going to stay on Webull. It's called magnet mode, so it's just going to stay up. And for me, when I start looking, you see these sways back and forth, down, up, down, up. You hear me say on trade for a lot, look for the pivot, look for where price moves up and down and around. I kind of threw that name out, pivot. The best thing to do is to kind of see we got some action up here. We got rejections. We pushed up over the zone here. So somewhere around here is probably where I'm going to draw my first line. And like I said, we're on the daily. So like I'm going to chart a line there. And I like, thanks to River, I like to grab where wicks are because that is where, so I drew another one here. Let me get this really quick. And if I'm ever going too fast, just stop me, but because I kind of just go off on a tangent. But wicks up and down are where, on the downside is where buyers step in hard. Like you see a wick here and buyers immediately stepped in. They stepped in here and defended this 87.05. So we could probably just call this 87, but I can't quite get it there. But you notice right away on the daily, we have this little channel here. We have this little box. I wouldn't call it consolidation, but this is definitely a name to watch. But we have this little channel here. And again, we're just on the daily. I'm going to chart a couple more lines just to kind of show you how it doesn't take much. Again, I'm pretending I'm doing this first thing in the morning. Okay, we got 4 lines, and let's focus on this zone here, because obviously we want to get down to the 15-minute and the 5-minute chart because we're on the daily right now. When we get entries, you always say, 5-minute retest on the 9 EMA or something like that. So let's break it down. Pay attention, just for the heck of it. I'm going to change this color so we can kind of follow along. Purple, and we'll just make this one, well, wait. Green for support, red for resistance. Why not, right? All right. So now we go to the 4-hour chart, and I'm going to show you guys how this still all lines up. Again, you don't need 1,000 lines. Well, I mean, I kind of do on my SPY chart because I scout, but so let's break it down to the 4-hour chart now. We can kind of see price movement. So I see, again, we can see in this lower zone here, we can see when we're over this, how aggressive buyers step in here. We're under, we see hard selling pressure. So when you guys start on the daily or the 4-hour chart and you get these, this green zone or this red level here, like you'll see them on my chart. Sometimes I'll make it thicker or something like that. And so if I were to be in calls today, like I would know if I see this thick red line, it goes, hey, there's something here. I need to zoom out and see where we're at. And obviously when we get to this zone, we see the reaction here. We see hard smackdowns. Get up to the zone, hard smackdown. Get to the zone, and look, another hard smackdown. And so when you start the daily, just get a couple lines going, especially if it's a new chart for you guys, and then just go to the lower time frames. And again, we're at the 4-hour chart now, and I bet it, if we look left, so let's look at probably 2020, and look, I have no idea what's going to come on the left side, but watch how, look at that. Look at how it's respected 2 years ago. It still respects these zones. So it's very important when you guys chart and we come up to this zone, it's like, man, we rejected. Why the hell do we keep rejecting? I always say I'm trading for look left, guys, look left, because this zone right here, I would say is pretty damn important. So we can call it 85 to 96. Yeah, it's a big zone, but when we're in here, this is a very nice zone to play. Like we're not talking about all-time highs where's the price of Roku going next. When we get little pockets like this, this is a blessing of a zone to play in, you guys. And so again, daily chart here. So let's go down to 30-minute. The 30 minutes kind of my bread and butter. Like I said, I start every day. So this is Monday and this is today. If I were to see this today and I see stuff like this, like this zone here, dang it. We sell down on Monday, we hold, we defend, we come down, we defend, we open pre-market tomorrow. If we hold this zone, this is where you can buy with confidence calls, because we break out and we retest this zone here. It's not perfect, obviously. It's easy, again, to show things in hindsight, but I start my day every day on the 30-minute chart just to see where we're at on everything. And so again, you can see an ugly sell, but like this is ugly, no doubt. On the 30-minute, we're on the 30-minute time frame. This is yesterday. This is ugly. You do not want to be buying puts down here. And again, if you don't have any lines like this and you're buying puts down here, like you are hurting really bad. And so You guys always need to have your key levels. If you're like, hey, this ugly candle in Roku, where's it going? Before you dive in puts, you should at least chart out a couple levels of take profit on where this might bounce at. So you guys always need to have stuff charted before you dive in anything. Fernando, you can definitely start on the 4 hour. I mean, some people even start on the weekly. Like if you really want to see where things are, where they're going, it's just all preference. For me, I have, 20 to 25 things on my watch list that my levels, other than QQQ and SPY making all-time highs or NVIDIA, I have levels because I've been trading for 3 years now. I didn't tell you guys, but I had levels all through this because I traded all this, but I deleted them just because I knew I was going to do this example. And so for me, if it's something new, I would definitely start in the 4 hour or the daily. But because I already had levels and I kind of know the zone, I can dive in at the 1 hour and the 30 minute. My point is, if you're getting something new and you're kind of not sure about it, whether it's Tesla, AMD, Bank of America, whatever it is, start on a larger time frame and work your way down and kind of just watch it, kind of see what it's doing. And so, obviously we got this nice channel here, like I said, be a buyer down here and then sell your calls into this zone because we don't know what we're going to do at this 93.54 zone. Okay, does that make sense, everybody? Like you just don't want to start your day and go, oh, let me buy puts down here in the 5 minute. Like you need to see where you're at on larger time frames to kind of make it all tie together and make sense. Because again, this is an ugly sell, but if you look at the 30 minute and the 1 hour, like I said, this is defended a lot. 87 to 87.23 zone, a lot. We can scroll back, scroll back, scroll back. Coming back, look at, here it is again. Breakout over, and when we broke over old resistance, we went flying. And so always know your zones before you dive into anything. How do we look at the EMAs while looking at the time frame? What's the purpose of them? Well, I mean, it's the location of the EMA or the MA based on that time frame. So based on a 1 hour candle, this red line is your 50 MA, 50 moving average. So it moves. And so if you're in with flips a lot, or even River, he'll say, hey, come up to the 200 on the 4 hour, come up to the 200 on the whatever. And so, like I said, it all comes down to just pre-market planning and pre-planning. I might even set, alerts up here and down here just so they trigger so I don't have to watch it. And so it's just basically a checklist. The more you guys do it, it'll just be like second nature, like tying your shoes, brushing your teeth. It's just gonna be very, very obvious. What do you look for again if calls? So for me, it's a break and retest. So I'm only on the 5 minute when I'm in a trade. So like if we're riding the 9 EMA, like I will make it stop me out based on that on a 5 minute time frame. But for entry for me, I'm on the 30 and the 15. So tomorrow, for example, I don't want to turn it to a straight, entry and exit charting lecture, but ideally, if you want to see something like a break and retest, and you want to see this hold, not for a minute, not for 5 minutes, like if we're an hour into the day and this is holding and the market looks good, like this is where a break and a retest is great to buy to the upside. And if we break down below, if we break into this zone here, I'm not saying hold it to down here, but I'm saying we break into this zone, you need to say to yourself, okay, 93.54 is not holding. I might be wrong, or I don't have enough time, or something like that. Like you need to know already where's your stop out point before you think about profits. Where's your stop out point? Can you show again how you select 4 different colors? Yeah, are you on Skipper? Are you on Weeble? I mean, I can show you that if wait for Skipper to respond if they are going to. The height of the pocket, it's really, again, it's just based on 30-minute, 15-minute zones. Like I would never go to a 5-minute and start drawing stuff. I want to see, where are these where are these pockets at? So it's really just, I guess you can call it consolidation, but again, I want to see the sways and the movement of the market. You know what I mean? Like you can draw those little zones. I'm not gonna say wherever you want, but wherever it makes sense. So you can get into stuff like this. And I'll make it red. We'll just call it red for resistance, just to make it easy. So like if we sell here and I'm buying, like I seen where this rejection happened a few days ago. So if I'm in here, I need to be selling or trimming into this zone. And you can see it smack down. We come up and we smack down. So you look for just the key areas that the market is flowing. You know what I mean? Unless it's like SMCI or whatever, it's that is just straight up. But it's like stuff like this. I'm not gonna say it's easy, but this is a very nice zone to play. This is where you can kind of take calls. Like I said, on an ugly morning, you can try dip buy here. Like it can go for anything, but the longer time frame is what gives you the confirmation and the confidence. If you're in calls here down here and you got a realistic entry and a strike price, say you're at the 88 strike, like a little bit of red should not worry you. If you're not in heavy, a little bit of red on the support should not worry you. But if we start seeing 15, 30, 1 hour holds down here, that's where you should have confidence. I'm not saying swing, but you should have confidence into zones like that. And hopefully if there's time, I'll go over QQQ a little bit on, I took some dip buy trades on Q today that it may have looked ugly to people, but I can kind of show you the same theory. Fernando, good question. If I'm telling the truth, when I first started out, I had a whole rainbow of colors on my chart. And then when you zoom out to the daily, it was hideous. And so now I just keep it tan. And what I'll do to make it less hideous is, so we'll just call this our resistance, our top. When I'm into a key zone, you'll see my charts that I post on Trade Floor. I just make it a little bit thicker. So that's a really good question. I'm glad you asked that. So I may have a level here, but I'll keep it thin. Like, okay, we broke, we reject, we broke over, we broke under, we held. So I might have this here, but I'll keep the key levels a little bit thicker, just so, again, it's one less thing to think about. If I'm in a trade here, we're coming to the end of the day, things are moving fast. I really like my profits. If I see a thick line, I'm going, shit, I need to zoom out. I need to see where we're at. And I'm going, you know what? I'm selling everything here. I don't care if it breaks over. I can get a reentry tomorrow. So line thickness is kind of how I do it. Everybody's different. But like I said, I used to make them colors and stuff just got very, very ugly. Fibonacci's, yes, they are useful. I'm not really good at them, but you can draw. I don't get off on a tangent too much. You can draw Fibonacci's. So you can take this on a high and a low of the day. Let me delete this, see if anything lines up. We'll just do this on the fly. So I went from the low to the high, and look, it did do a fib retrace, like perfect. So yes, Fibonacci's are helpful. Like if you're starting a chart, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, let's go look at my QQQ. If you start charting and it looks like this, because this is years and years of charting, yeah, this is ugly down here, but I don't care. If we ever come back down here, I'm ready. I'm ready for anything. Yeah, it's ugly. I don't care. No shame. But if you start charting and stuff starts getting too complicated, yeah, use some fibs. Whatever works for you guys. It's just whatever works for you. Back to Roku here. Yeah, Rena, don't laugh. Yeah, Thinkorswim has chart layers, which would be glorious, but it doesn't. But like I said, I don't care QQQ at 300 because I'm not looking at that down there. I'm just looking at it. But you know what? If we have a 5 to 10% pullback, I'm ready for anything below where we are on QQQ. Whatever happens down here, all the ugly stuff you guys seen, I'm ready for it because I guarantee those levels are going to come into play. Make sure I'm not missing any questions. Does that make sense to everybody so far? I know I say it seems easy, but shop is another one. Again, I deleted my lines just for you guys, but shop, I've been kind of talking about trade floor a little bit. Again, follow along on your charts if you're going to follow with me. We're on the daily right here. Again, we kind of got, remember I said we kind of got this little consolidation zone here, which is kind of nice. So let's just focus on this area here because it kind of made, I don't think all-time highs, but it made some recent highs after this really bad sell. So what we're going to do, we're going to look at this zone here, and I'm going to show you how it plays to 2 years later again. So again, look for key areas. If you were to look at this zone here, key areas that we keep bouncing, there's key pivots. And one that I've been playing over and over and over is very, very obvious to me. It's right around 80. So when we look at this, a one-line chart, you see when we're over it, we have big buys. We're under it, we have a lot of selling pressure. The bears give up, let the bulls give up and let the bears take it. We're over. We have big bounces, big bounce. Like look at that perfect wick at 80. And then today, this triggered today, but I was already in 2 positions. I did not take it. I wish I would have. It would have paid really nice. But again, daily time frame. Let's not make this hard. We're just gonna draw a couple lines. Again, I'm grabbing these wicks. I want to see where there's big reactions. I'm not, I mean, I can mark it here. You know, this is probably pretty important right here too. This is kind of the middle zone right here. So again, shop is very, very nice right now. 80 you buy calls, 83 to 83.16. You know, this is a smackdown area for, you know, all of January. I mean, we got one close over it in the last, you know, 6 weeks of this year so far. So again, let's start the daily. And like I said, I don't know what's going to look like to the left, but I just want to show you guys how when you get charting down and you get some levels set, look how much it still respects levels here. Let me go to the weekly, see where we're at. We're at 80, we're way up here. I just want to show you guys how once you get a few levels going, you can see how this is a weekly, but you can see how the zone still is respected. Give me 1 second. All right, so now we start the daily. I'm gonna jump to the 1 hour. Like I said, I know shop levels very, very well. Again, the 1 hour, we can see this zone here. As long as we don't gap up or down tomorrow, this 81.40, that's a key level to watch. Again, we'll make this thicker because we know it's a key area. We know 80 is very important. So again, start in the larger time frames because that does all the work for you. Look, we drew 3 lines, literally 3 lines. And we have all this to work with here, all this to work with here. Be a buyer down here, sell into here. If we push and hold, sell into here. I'm not saying immediately buy puts here, but note, you know, look at, I guess I do have some old alerts here. You can see what I did here. Lower zone alert, top zone alert. And I just wait for either of them to trigger. So again, look for your zones. 30-minute time frame here. You know, use the 30-minute, use the 15 to find your entry points. Again, an ugly sell down here, but look at buyers step in. A little bit of nothing this morning, ugly sell, that mid-morning sell. Look at buyers step in. Like you can, when it makes sense, you can buy into selling pressure when it makes sense. If you get an entry here, you know that we sell down in this zone here, you know, I'm wrong and the market's probably going to keep selling off, but like you don't buy puts at this candle at this support. That's where people get smoked. They buy the bottom on puts And then you buy this down here and you're in pain through all this. That is an instant 30%, 35% loss on that. How do you know when buyers step in? Good question. It's a little bit of time in the market. It's, again, I'm going to say it over and over. It just comes down to your charting, because if I don't have these lines here, I'm like, man, that's ugly. That's ugly. I'm going to buy puts. And it's like, well, wait a minute. I'm buying puts at support. And so again, before you, whether you're scalping a 0 DTE or anything, you guys need to have it charted out, whether it's SPY, QQQ, Tesla, whatever it is. You know, if you want to buy on this candle here, you need to know, okay, where am I going to sell at? You need to have levels charted out already. So yeah, it just comes down to charting. So let me put this back on here. We'll call it 80. This top line. So I'm gonna grab this wick here and I'm gonna grab this. Okay, what's something else we need to look for? Trend lines. So now, this is kind of step 2 or step 3. So my trend lines, if you see me post on trade floor, they're solid. They're usually blue, just so I can keep track of everything. So now, scenario number 2, say we hold this. You should be thinking about selling some profits into this zone. Maybe we break out, maybe we don't, but you don't need to be holding a full position into here blindly, not having this trend line. And so trend lines, again, these are just diagonal support and resistance. If we go to a 4-hour, I bet I can find something like this, or I could even maybe go like this. So I do this again. Someone stop me if I'm going too fast or talking too fast, but we're holding this lower trend line. We got an upper trend line. So things, things are getting tight across the whole market. We'll look at SPY and QQQ if we have time, but things are getting tight on a lot of names here. Trend lines, I will draw wherever it makes sense. I hope that's an answer that's good enough for you. I'm not biased on a certain time frame, but when I'm in a trade, I draw where it makes sense. I draw where I see a couple touches. Again, time in the market, when you just do your pre-market scan, let's see if Roku has anything. Not really any trend lines I like here. Nothing super strong. I'm just going to kind of do this on the fly with you guys. Walmart was another one. Again, I'm not going to draw a trend line just because I want it to make sense if I do. This one right here stands out to me. When you hear on the trade floor, we say lower highs and higher lows. Here's a low. Here's a low. It's a little bit higher. Here's a low. It's a little bit higher. This, it's not much of a trend, but I would definitely be drawing this. This is just an example. This is Walmart. This is the 30-minute chart here. Maybe, I don't want to force anything. Let's see if we have anything here. I don't know if I'd draw that one. That one's not very defined, but again, trend lines are just another form of support. So again, maybe you don't have your support and resistance lines. Even if you have this line here and you're buying into this, like you don't want to be buying puts down here. XLF, yeah. This might be a lot on this chart, but let's see. I was trying to play this. I told a few people about it. We can go with this one. This is a good one. This is actually, so I had this trend line here. It's not much of a tangent, so we can go over this. And I had this zone here. So I seen a sell down yesterday, a buy up over, a sell, a push into it. And this red zone was kind of the pivot. So I entered puts somewhere around in the morning, I think. And I said a hold of 38.30 and I'm wrong and I will cut it basically. And I had this trend line here and this almost stopped me out. This did not fill. And it came down here and I said, okay, end of the day, sell down, we're looking good here. Like if you ignore this candle. And again, this trend line held. This is just an example of trend lines. We got a, what am I? I'm on the 30-minute time frame. We had a 30-minute engulfing candle and they bought it right back up and stopped me out. Once I seen this, I held this all day and I said, you know what? It's just not time right now. Like XLF, bank sector, financials are just too strong right now. This was a losing play for me today, but just an example on, I had a level marked right here, this tan line, and I had my red zone. We, I wanted to hold over. We got a few holdovers, but I just didn't see enough movement that I wanted, and it stopped me out. But this is an example of, first, I had this alert down here. This was my sell down here, this 38.63. Sell into this trend line if we got here. Obviously, we never did. But that was the game plan. That's what I wanted to do. But yeah, so support resistance and some trend lines. Is it making sense to everybody so far? Again, I feel like I'm repeating the same things, but it's starting your larger time frames. You can pick any stock you want, whatever you're interested in playing, and just get 3 to 4 lines. And then you break it down to 30-minute and you kind of say, hey, where are we at? Are we in a zone where I want to be buying? What are we doing here? Make sure I'm not missing. Volume profile, ask Toasty, he's really good at that. We can definitely look at it. I don't use it a lot, but it is helpful. So you can see volume profile, big spike in volume profile here. And what is it doing? Remember those boxes or those zones we draw? Look at that. So again, when the markets are trying to trick you and they're saying sell, 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 zoom out and look where we're at. And you say, you know what? I'm going to be a buyer here. And if they sell below this, it's a very tiny stop out. You don't want to buy puts here and go, oh man, red, 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 red. Where do I sell? Where do I sell? You buy into support. You sell into resistance. Good question on that volume profile. I don't use it a whole lot on day trading, but that example just showed how that pays off on something right there. Times I chart for a day trade, Matt. Yeah, so same thing, just kind of recapping. 30-minute in the morning, and then when the market opens, I go the 15. I don't trade the open. Obviously there's some big winners to be had, but it's just not my risk tolerance. If you pay attention to anything River posts in his tab, if the answer is no, you guys are foolish, but you guys should. Every day he posts the opening range, which is the first 90 minutes, I think, of the day. So for me, markets open at 6:30. And the opening range is set at 8 a.m. So I usually don't take a trade for that first hour, 90 minutes of the day. I want to see the markets at, because I can try and take Walmart calls here at the open, and if I get smoked 10 minutes into the day, I'm red, and I absolutely hate that for my mentality. But if I wait, I see a sell down, I see a little bit of consolidation, I see a VWAP, this blue line that is regained. Now I can say, you know what, we sold down into here, but maybe buyers are stepping in. Maybe I can look for an entry. Like, the market's open like 6.5 hours a day, guys. Like, if you're good at trading the open, fine, do that. But like, I wait the first 90 minutes of the day. I let the market tell me, hey, where are we going? What are we doing? That might be my internet, guys. I'm sorry. We got some wild storms out here, so hopefully you guys can see this. All right. Does anybody have anything charted, want charted, because they want to use a learned experience that they're maybe not sure about? I'll let you unmute if you want to ask about it. I'll look over SPY and QQQ when we're done, but we have 20 minutes left, so I can keep charting some stuff. I can keep talking, or if you guys want to get active, What times would I use when swinging weeklies? Good question. If I were to swing, I think you mean, do you mean, Matt, do you mean time frame or expiration? You can unmute if you want as well, but do you mean how long expiration or time frame on the chart, as in the candles? Water. Can't unmute. All right. If I give you permissions, but maybe not. Yeah, it says allow them to mute themselves, but maybe it's just your setup. So if you're talking about what, I don't swing at all because honestly, I cannot sleep at night when I have money on the line. That's just me. Everybody's different. But if I were to swing, it all depends on, am I in profits yet? If I got where we're at Walmart, if I bought Walmart down here and I sell salmon 5 and I sell everything but 1, and I like this close, this strong close here, like this is the daily, I like that close here. Yes, I might swing one, but if I'm red on the day on my port and I enter at the end of the day here, I'm not going to swing because I'm basically swinging at break even on this. So I want to see a strong close on a name. This is a strong close, yes, but I'm not going to swing a full position on an entry here. That's not me. It's not my style. Like, you close here, you're at 0.00 profit. We gap down again. You're starting the day, you're hurting, and so longer time frame, confirmation. Am I in profits for the day? Say I'm up $250 for the day. Can I swing something that's $50? Technically, sure, because it's not going to wipe out my gains for the day. But if I'm red $400 on the day and I bought Walmart here just because I want to and I'm forcing stuff, like, no, I don't do that, because say we gap down, say we get GDP data or something like that. Immediately, I'm red today. I'm starting my day red again, and now it's an uphill battle, and I absolutely hate that. Again, that's just me. That's my risk tolerance. I know what kind of my daily goals are each day, and so I want to day trade and decide when I'm wrong. I don't want to gap up. I don't want to be in puts and gap up and let the market, blow past my stop and start the day red. I want to day trade and have my money in control, if that makes sense. Day trade 5, 15, 30, swing. Yep, we find levels for support resistance. Yep, just like Skipper said, if you're a swing trader, perfectly what they said in the chat. Very good explanation. You want longer time frame confirmation. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, this is really easy to look at this after the fact, but if we're holding this zone here, this is a little bit of a tangent, but if we're holding this little pocket here, this was July last year, and you have 3 months time, yes, you can swing it if we keep holding this 152.5 level. But again, I don't swing trade. It's just not for me. I like to just use my money every day and decide, winners and losers based on that. I don't want to miss anything. Okay. Netflix. iPhone, do you want to unmute and go over Netflix with me, or do you just want me to look at it? Again, I don't really want to turn it to buy calls here, sell calls here, buy puts. I want this to be strictly charting, but that's kind of hard to do without saying be a buyer here. But I can at least let you know what I'm seeing on Netflix. But like I said, I don't play this too often. It's getting pricey with ER. Can't unmute. What the hell's going on? Maybe it's operator error. Oh, wait. Okay, I'm an idiot. Okay, can anybody unmute now? Yeah, okay. Sorry, guys, I'm an idiot. All right, Netflix, iPhone, do you want to go over this and talk about it, or you just want me to kind of look at it? I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to try and give trade ideas. That's not the purpose, but if you want to compare charts, feel free to unmute. Sorry about that, guys. That was me. wait for them to chime in. But so I'm on the 1 hour time frame right here. Again, I haven't played Netflix in a while, but immediately I'm going to mark this trend, I think. And I guess I didn't say, when I mark a trend, I want to see the most touches possible, whether it's 3, whether it's 4, 5, whatever it is. You know, obviously I want to do more than 2. So this is the 1 hour chart. Touch here, rejection, touch here, rejection, touch here. Wait, that's VWAP. Rejection, pre-market rejection, push up to high day rejection. So when you see big wicks like that, and even on the downside, that's where you want to draw. Okay, just some insight. That's where you want to draw trend lines. Thankful for River, he really got me on that, because I would draw them over, when I first started, over the bodies. And he says you want to draw where there's big market reactions, whether that's, you know, puts right here, or rejections, I should say, rejections. You want to draw where there's wicks. So that's a really nice trend right here. Obviously, this was kind of a, let's zoom out. Let's see where we are. I don't know if this all-time high, like I said. I'm gonna color it just so I can follow along. Let's see where we are. Ugly chart, of course, but look at the, now I'm on the weekly. Obviously, that's ugly down there. Don't worry about it, guys. This purple line, look at that zone back there in 2021. Let's get out of the ugliness. We're coming back to it. So what should this tell you? This is a battle right here at 557. As of recent, this was ER, I think. We pushed over, we sell down, we hold. Push over, sell down, push up, we hold, bounce, bounce. Okay, we closed under it. So 550, 557 is something you guys should be watching. Like I said, I don't want to just turn it to trade ideas, but ugly chart. Don't worry about this, but this purple line up here, this is kind of our pivot on this top zone up here. So tomorrow or this week, iPhone, whenever you're in this, like, I don't know if you're in puts or calls, but this should kind of be a big zone you're watching here, this 557. If we push up in the morning and we hold, you know, maybe you can be cautiously bullish here. We might get some EMAs curling. And you can say, hey, if we sell down below us again in the morning with hard selling pressure, you know, I'm wrong. Or if we come down here, if we kind of do one of these things and we push, I might short that pop. A break and retest. You can do that for puts too, a break and retest. And if we start holding over here and we get some closes at 15 minutes, 30-minute closes, that's where you can kind of say, hey, I'm wrong on this trade. But break and retest, you can go both ways for call, bounce, or short the pop. If we come into here and the market's looking kind of weak and you're kind of seeing like a weak push into here, you can take puts and you can take it down this level here. So break and retest goes for the same calls and puts, guys. Don't have bias. It can go both ways. Do you always consider how SPY is moving when take a trade? Yes, very, very good question. Or is it technicals on that one? Because what's up, iPhone? Oh, you're cutting out. Can't tell if it's my system, yours. Let me read this question really quick. Valar, good question. Do you always look at SPY and QQQ? Because SPY was ranging today and I was skeptical taking any plays. Yes. Very good question. I actually got a DM about this. I don't know if that person is in here as well. So SPY, the S&P 500, is the 500 biggest companies. And so I know this probably got a lot of people today. You know, a scalper wouldn't call this chop, but if you're trying to catch a big winner, this is chop right here, and this is pissing you off probably. So when you see this, you have to say, okay, what's going on? So what is in SPY? Does anybody know? Does anyone want to chime in? What is in, I mean, obviously 500 names, but what else? Okay, what is in SPY that is not in QQQ? Can anybody answer that? Anybody? Nobody? Okay. QQQ is just big tech, Apple, Amazon, AMD, Tesla. So QQQ was kind of making some nice moves today, some nice moves here. I'm gonna go over this since we're here. QQQ was making nice moves. Give me 1 second. Oh, I didn't save my settings. Damn it. Bear with me, guys. It's going to change. QQQ is making some nice moves down. Tech is weak today. SPY, you're caught in this. It's making everybody mad because inside of SPY, the S&P 500, there's financials, there's banks, there's energy, there's XLE. So when you see this on SPY, you need to say, okay, what is happening? QQQ is weak. Okay, why is SPY not dying? Let's look at XLE because energy is also in. Look at XLE, pushing, 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 while tech is down, down, down. So you could say it's not equal weight, but you can say maybe this is the reason it's offsetting. Let's look at XLF. Why is SPY not dying? Financials are essentially flat on the day. They're holding. So I was mentioning another member tonight. That's why I like to play QQQ because I can look at Apple, I can look at Microsoft, Amazon, and Tesla. Obviously, there's Google and there's other stuff in there, but those 4 names, when they're moving in sync, that is all I need for QQQ for my confirmation. When I get this sell down here, look at NVIDIA selling down. Microsoft, what are you doing? Selling down. Apple, did you hold or did you sell down? Apple popped. What's the other one I said? Amazon. Selling down. So to me, I like QQQ better because I can look at 4 to 6 names, even though there's more than that in there, and I get the direction of the day. SPY, you need to watch XLE, you need to watch XLF, you need to watch utilities, XLV, and those need to be jiving. A few of those need to be jiving in your favor, or SPY is going to chop you on 0 DTs right here in this zone, and you're not going to like it. You're going to be hating life. Yes, Microsoft, AMD. All right. Trying to go over everything. Yeah, Disney moved really nice. Delta Airlines nice. SPY ranging today. Yeah, I hope that answered your question. Target. Do you want to unmute and talk this over? Or do you just want me to look at it? Or ideally, I like to know what you're seeing on it. But if you're shy, because everybody's shy, they don't like to talk. That's all right. I have this purple line from our lecture.
I've been looking at Target for a long time.
What's up? What are you seeing on Target? Talk me through what you're thinking.
So I wasn't the one that actually posted that, but I was gonna post that. I've been charting it for several weeks, and on the yearly, I've been seeing a strong divergence on the oscillator.
On
and I haven't taken a trade.
side, or
yeah.
Wait,
And so I haven't taken a trade because that's my bias, and it keeps popping. So I just keep it's given me like I just told myself not to trade it because I'm pretty confused on it.
You're seeing weak pushes on this, and then you're seeing a push up, a divergence, right?
Yeah. So for me, I'm waiting for this big move down, and I'm not getting it. So I've just been watching it and trying to learn.
Yeah, RSI, it's one of those things you like it, maybe not love it, or you hate it. You talk to River and he calls it really stupid index, or really stupid indicator. It's called relative strength index, but because it's delayed. But I'm not gonna lie, when I see, this is for shares, this is a little bit of a tangent, but when I see selling and holding, and I see a bullish opposite divergence, on a daily or weekly time frame, I am a share buyer every single time. That's my bread and butter on share flips. Um, Day trading, I mean, I don't use it on shorter time frames. Day trading, I don't use it. But for me, what I would look for here is just, you can call this one form of confirmation if you want to, if that's part of your trade plan. And then, we really just need some closes over some key zones. And so,
That 140 level, it keeps every time it's there, I look at it and I'll
yep,
get a bias in a direction. But again, I can't get something that gives me clarity. And when every time I've paper traded it, it's been purely 50-50.
right,
I've been right and then I've been wrong. And it's like,
right.
it's just not, yeah, that 140 level is so
Yeah,
key.
so that's that purple line. I don't know if we went over it a few weeks ago in beginner charting, but yeah, that 140 is like, when it's over hard. When it's under, like I said, bulls give up a little bit. And so there's trades to be made in between there. But like I said, I think, it just comes down to it's so easy to look after the fact, oh yeah, we should have took puts there. But it's like for me, it's setting levels. There's probably something here. There's rejection zone here, 144.50. I'm kind of just doing this on the fly. Push up, hold, sell down, sell hard, push up, break over, hold, sell down, sell hard. And now we're pushed up against it again. And so to me, it's levels with alerts and then what is the market doing? Because, you know, I wouldn't call Target big tech because it's not big tech, it's clothing or branding or shopping or whatever. But like, you just got to kind of see the market sentiment and kind of use that as your confirmation. For me, any trade I get in, I just always kind of see what the markets are doing because, yeah, there can be some weak names on, Target yesterday, and then QQQ did. I guess we had a hard sell, so maybe it's not a good example. But basically, I look for confirmation. Now this really answers your question, but just to tie it all together, basically, where's my charting? Where's my levels? Is it safe? Is it safe to buy calls here? If we push up and we come down here, and QQQ has a little gap, and tech and spies like just plowing up all-time highs, like to me, even though this was a rejection zone, like I think that's a safe spot for calls. And so it's basically it's just your confirmation overall. Rely on your 30-minute, your 15, maybe your hour. I like I said, I don't enter. I don't go, oh, I want calls here. I look at, I go, okay, this is a key zone here. I might pull this alert and send an alert for tomorrow. Okay, it triggered. Where are we at? What are we doing? We open, we hold this for 30 minutes. Yeah, we're not breaking out, but you know what? Bears are not making any progress as well. And then we start getting these EMAs in a longer time frame. That's kind of your confirmation. Go long, and if we step, if we sell down, just find a little. Like I said, I always talk about pockets. This is probably that little pocket that if we come into here and we don't hold this and you're in calls, this is where I would say, you know what, I am wrong. And why I picked this level or why, because it's on a 30-minute time frame here, got this little zone here, smack down, buy back up, little zone here, little zone here.
He'll get 20, 30 grand.
And so that's kind of my little area. And like I said, I just rely on longer time frames to make it. Hopefully that answers your question. But yeah. QQQ, if anybody wants to go over, I want to go over a quick trade, not because there's a winner and I want to boast, but just to bring home the point of don't buy puts at the bottom, don't buy calls at the top kind of thing. So you've seen me post my charts on trade floor. I got this green zone. I'm not going to call it demand. We'll call it a bounce zone. And we've had this red zone over and over and over. Push over, be a bull, sell down, I'm a bear. So I'm on the 30-minute time frame here. I'm on the 30-minute. We sell down hard. I'm not chasing this because I'm buying people's sells. I'm coming down here again. This is the opening 30 minutes. I don't trade the opening portion of the day. Let me go to 15, might be a little more clear. So the opening range, if you hear River talk about it, it's the first 90 minutes of the day. This is essentially the opening range of the day. So for me, again, that's 8 o'clock. That's within this candle. This is the opening range. Let me give a different color just for the hell of it. This is your high and low of the day in the first 90 minutes. I watched this little, I guess you can call it a flag here for him. Let me see if the 5 looks more clear. Hard sell again. I'm not taking any of this. I'm watching the EMA's curl. Again, look at this zone here. I got puts here and sold at the opening range because that makes sense. This is the opening range that held all day. Well, why did I buy puts here? We're buying, yeah, they're buying it up here. But this is a big ass level here. Look at this level. Pardon my language. Just trying to tie this all home here. 427.70. You guys need to mark that on your charts. 427.70. When we sell under, we sell hard. We push over, we push hard. Sell under, we sell hard. Sell under, we sell hard. Over, we push hard. Sell under, we sell hard. Over, we push hard. Under, you get the point. I took puts there, shorting the momentum, knowing if we break over, I have a very small risk zone here on my puts. I took 427, 1 DT, which means expires tomorrow puts. If we pushed and this is blue line is VWAP. If we pushed over this, I know there's a very small loss for me. I'm wrong. We're probably going to regain this pocket. Say this.
Yeah, the limit of telling you was falling out in the garage. I thought she answered it. I already answered it.
All right, I guess another question. If we pushed into this, I would say, you know what? Buyers are back here over 427.70. I'm wrong. I sold here. Had this ugly candle here. Tech is selling off. Tech is selling off. Tech is selling off. I'm zooming out. I got this green zone here. And on trade floor, I said 425.55. There's some old wicks. 425.55. Color this just for the hell of it. Okay. Ugly sell, no doubt. If you're in puts, congratulations, but you should be selling puts into the screen zone. 425.55. Follow me here to the left. Look at this hard reaction here. This is yesterday. Hard sell, big buyback. And what do we do? V-shaped recovery. Again, 425.55. Look at this pocket here. Battle here. We are over hard. Okay. When it makes sense, you can buy calls into a sell down when it makes sense. When it makes sense. I got in here. Again, I flipped it. I took 427 puts, sold here. I waited. I sat around. I said in trade for 425.55. There's some old wicks. I bought 427 calls. Now I flipped my bias. I held through a little bit of pain here. No candle closes below. Sell down, tried it, sell down. You know, within this 5 minutes, it was sold down, but they buy a big buy up. When we get this big buy up here, I'm moving my stops to entry. We get this big move here. You know, I'm selling into, guess where I'm selling into? The opening range low. So this is the opening range low of the morning. We sell down. You have to ask yourself, where is the obvious spot to sell? Not percent wise, where's the obvious spot? Sell into this pocket here. Everyone's following me. Sell into this. Your calls, meaning take profit. Why are we taking? Because this is the zone that was support and is now probably going to be resistance. And look at resistance. Granted, I think there's a Fed speaker here, but you know, zoom out. This is all based on the 1 hour chart, guys. All these levels are based on the 1 hour. Again, you can take this short at all-time high. If you take this down, that's fine, but you need to zoom out and say, hey, This is a big area here. 427, 426, 17, 427, 70. Like those are two huge levels you guys need on your charts. I am running behind. I'm running late. But yeah, I hope that clears everything up for you guys. Did a little bit of rambling, did some charting, but again, to tie it all together, I want to bring this back before you guys start bailing on me tonight. Some motivation. I'm going to be hammering this all year. Take a look at this. If you have $1,000 port, you have a $5 port, 10K. What these numbers can do, there's 252 trading days in the year. Right now we're probably through there's about 20 a month. So we're somewhere down here. You know, if you had $1,000 port and you're making 50 bucks a day, you know, 50 bucks a day, 25 bucks a day is boring to some people, but look at how this adds up. In 1 month of trading on $1,000 port, you could have doubled it in 1 month. In the month of January, you could have doubled your port. Or you could have gained another 500 bucks. Like, what can 500 bucks a month do for you guys? You know, think long term. I ramble about this all the time, but you know, $50 days, $100 days, 1% a day, 2% a day. Look at 2% a day at the end of the year. This is not fake. Look what this does to your port on $1,000. Granted, again, 1% a day, when your port gets bigger, you're gonna have to make more money and there could be mental pressure. But if you guys literally just stack 50 bucks, 50 bucks, 50 bucks, $50 a day, you got 13K at the end of the year. 13K on $1,000 port. Think about that, you guys. Like, there's a lot of people in trade floor, a lot of people in my DMs that are, you know, I'm not taking these contracts. It's only a $25 gain. Like, this adds up. This grows ports. Like I said, whether this is $10,000, $20 port, whatever you guys have, $500 port, divide that in half. $500 port, 50 bucks a day, you got 6 grand. You know, think about at the end of the month, like, what $500 or $1,000? Pay your mortgage, car payment, medical bills, help your kids. You know, just some motivation for you guys to tie us all together, because, you know, trade floor is chaotic, you know, and everyone wants to flex and gains tab, but it's like stacking winners over and over. You know, you can have red days, but keep them small. Keep your green days bigger than your red days. And if you finish the week green, you will always be profitable. Can you share that slide, Fernando? Take a screenshot, but also I will, you know what? I'll take a screenshot for you. I don't really have a tab. So look for this and look for this in staff trades. This will just be some motivation. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the lecture. Like I said, you know, keep your head down, keep grinding, you guys. Like I said, you're going to have bad days. If you're in a bad rut, send me a DM. Say, hey, you know, I keep losing on trades. What am I doing wrong? And I'm going to say, hey, where's your entry? Where's your exit? What'd you pay? And I'm going to try and walk you guys through it. But, you know, it's a long-term game, you guys. Like, you can't think about one day and just throw in the towel. But this adds up. Think about where you can be. You know, we're 20 days in, so 230 days from now, you know, at the end of the year. Just, you know, keep it up, guys. All right. That's all I got, guys. Have a great day, great night, whatever it is. Get some sleep. Don't look at the charts tonight. Get some sleep, get some mental rest. Check in the morning. And let's kick ass tomorrow, guys.